Gonzo on the restart. Weaves his way, fires, and scores.
Look at an attack, coming middle,
Trying to free himself up. Shot, score. Gets around Weed. Off the bounce, shot, and a score. Wow. Levine with some speed. Levine fakes a pass. Levine all the way is going to fire and score. Up top, Druin. He wants a shot, and he's got it. Wow. Meanwhile, Arbusto. One-handed shot is up and in.
got a penalty flag down.
Skip pass sets up the board, and it's time to pluck a chicken.
No. But a good one-handed scoop up.
Oh, Roy, and then he lights the lamp. Lowers that left shoulder and fires up the Cougar fans. Look at this.
Nice play.
Fake shot by Brunzik, and then he drills it on his way to the ground. Chase, extra feed, shot, score, game over.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome here to Manchester. Nick Anastas, Rich McDonough with you, getting set for our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. No, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. My mistake. We are at the Derryfield School, which has become one of the bigger spots for lacrosse fans over the last decade or so under head coach Chris Hetler. He's guided the Cougars to, I believe, 7 Division II state championship games.
Plus 2, 9. Oh, games.
Yes. Right. And
yep.
Of course, he's won 7 rings total, 2 of those at the Division III level. And Derryfield, although young this season, widely expected to compete yet again in the Division II tournament come June. Londonderry, meanwhile, trying to find their footing amongst the D1 giants. They faced the defending Division I champion, Bishop Girton, in the season opener back on Monday. Fought hard, but fell as expected to the Cardinals 18-5. Speaking of Bishop Girton, we will see them tomorrow south of the border in Massachusetts when they take on St. John's Prep at 7 o'clock. But this one a good measuring stick game, so to speak, for both teams here. Again, a D1 playoff team under Londonderry, or with Londonderry under head coach Jimmy Ward, and the perennial contender in Division II, Derryfield.
Without a doubt. And, I've known Chris Hetler for a long time. We took the field together as co-coaches in Tomahawks. And I was coach at H. Hollis Brookline, that is. So I saw Het many times. He was the first guy I met when I moved up from Maryland 12 years ago. And he is an outstanding coach. He's a fellow goalie. And he always has his fellas ready to play. They're fast. They never give up on a ground ball. They never give up on a check. And it's always in play. And they're a very confident group of people. Londonderry, Division I, they're seeded 8th preseason poll. And they're very athletic. They're a smaller team in numerically, that is. They have a small roster, but they're physical, they're fast. And they have a midi crew that's developing that has to grow into itself. But Jimmy Ward, in his second year, coaches Tomahawks as well. I did for years, and he is an outstanding person and a motivator and a great coach. And
he's bringing back a lot of that attack, a lot of that midfield from a playoff team a year ago. It's the defense with the most question marks, right?
Well, yeah, they graduated some studs, and including Cam Ayotte, All-State player. Hard to fill shoes like that. We saw a similar quandary the other night when we had Portsmouth and Winnicott. But he says his D, they're a pleasant surprise. The guys who were on JV last year, Nick, are stepping up and stepping in. And, they're gritty kids. I've coached against them, and they're just gritty kids. They get after it. But they have an exceptional attack line here. And we're going to see a very similar attack line for Derryfield. That should be a fun matchup to watch all night long, Nick.
And it's a gorgeous night here in the Queen City. Temperature right now about 65 degrees, a few clouds in the sky, but no rain in the forecast, which was not the case last night. All right, when we come back, it's game time here at the top of the hour as opening week continues here on Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. It's the season opener for Derryfield. Londonderry in game number 2, looking for win number 1. We'll see if the Lancers can get it when we come back. Game time on the other side. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The Tomahawks prepare players to compete at the highest level, providing access to the best regional and national tournaments for maximum exposure. More than 1,000 alumni have gone on to compete at the collegiate level, including the ACC, Big Ten, Big East, Ivy, Patriot, NESCAC, NE10, and more. At the New Hampshire Tomahawks, players train with the same coaches and teammates, building elite skill, chemistry, leadership, and confidence. Every session combines high-level, position-specific instruction for all positions. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, and spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, and spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Well, the starting units meeting at midfield here as we get set for game time between Londonderry and Derryfield in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Nick Anastas, Rich McDonough here, opening week. Londonderry trying to even their record after losing opening night against Bishop Girton. Derryfield taking the field for the first time here in 2026. Keys to the game, Rich. What are we looking for?
Well, I think, one, we're going to see a good face-off battle. You've got excellent players at the positions for both teams. It's going to be wing play, I think, that dictates. You want to get 50-50 balls if you are Londonderry, and then your wings, you have great LSMs in this match. But then, kind of like what we saw the other night, I expect a real good goaltending battle. Het is a terrific goalie coach. I coach goalies with him. And you've got a gritty three-sport athlete in Brock St. Gelais in the net for Londonderry, and Liam England, who I've met recently, is a terrific young goalie. It should be a lot of fun, but it starts with possession, Nick.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch it. Eli Betancourt for Londonderry against Jack Hatfield of Derryfield, both juniors, and it's Hatfield with a clean scoop to start things off for the home team. So Derryfield has it first. They'll work right to left in this first quarter and are draped in their home whites with the maroon lettering and helmets. Londonderry in their road blues with the white shorts and white letters.
And you saw that nice clamp by Hatfield to get going. That's why he was all-state last year and in the discussion, of course, this year.
Expected to be one of the Derryfield leaders.
Absolutely. And they have a bunch.
can hear Coach Hetler on the home sideline here as his team cycles it around, trying to stretch out this defense on the opening trip.
You can hear him. You can't miss him in those amazing pants, the golf pants that he wears.
Yeah, he's got the maroon and white Derryfield covered, the plaid pants, which has become a trademark over the last decade plus.
He used to have the Daily Argyles years ago when I was coaching.
Meanwhile, Maxwell up top. This is Ryan Maxwell, the junior. Going to draw a slide here and find a teammate weak side, but it's dropped. Picked up after one bounce by Graham Cunningham, the sophomore defender. He's going to go across midfield. Look for the long pole, Austin Callahan. The sophomore's got his eye on the cage, and that one flies wide and out of bounds. It'll stay at this end with Londonderry.
That was a cannon. Get that long pole going, and sidewinder no less. That's impressive, just to hang on to the ball.
Part of that young defensive core. See what he can do end-to-end there. So Londonderry in their first possession here on attack, and this one on the ground. A hit, the ball ends up out of play. And Londonderry may have caught a break there. They're going to keep it.
They did, because Masoni had himself a ground ball. It just got sideways off the head of his cross right there. Out of bounds we go. Stays with blue.
No score here. First 90 seconds in the books. Owen Heward, one of the returning veterans for Londonderry, expected to play a lot behind the cage tonight, right?
I think so. He's a catalyst. He's a great feeder. I was watching him in warm-ups. He's silky smooth, and he's got stick skills all day.
This is J.J. DeGeorge, senior attackman, and now Heward. Given a little bit of space, deep behind the net, trying to reverse direction, gets a screen, finds a cutter. The pass, though, is dropped in front of the net. And it's scooped up now behind the cage by Derryfield. That's Garrett Land.
That was a good stick knockdown drill right there.
It's Brody Campbell making the play, looking for a cutter. Pass goes through the zone, ends up on the turf, scooped up and fired out of bounds. And now Derryfield will have possession.
Alistair Wright right now for Derryfield, number 31. He's committed to Wentworth. He is already wrecking machine down there. He's disrupting passes left and right. He's got the
possession here. He's going to look for a teammate in the middle. That's Vittorio Masoni. Masoni, a pretty good move. Gets across midfield. He's got a defender behind him, and that one's stripped loose. Good play again by Land for Londonderry. Land takes a tumble for it's scooped up on the near side by his teammate Aiden Stoll. And now again, Londonderry looks to get into rhythm here on offense. No score, 3 minutes in. Opening quarter here in the Queen City. Heward going to take over. Long pole, Alistair Wright right with him. Short pass taken, goal line extended for Campbell. Looking high slot. And again, a player ends up on the ground.
Yeah, good defense by the twin brother, Patrick Masoni, on that one.
And the clear ends up with Maxwell, who's going to come to a jog. Settle things down in the near corner. Second possession for Derryfield. Cougars looking for their first shot here, trying to break this scoreless tie.
I got to believe Het is a little bit concerned because they're having trouble getting into rhythm, and he's a fast start guy. He wants guys ready to roll at the opening whistle.
Coach Ward near midfield here, trying to coach up this man-to-man defense. Good move. Shot and score.
Wow.
And then a little something extra after the goal from Dominic Cersoni, one of those veteran juniors for Coach Hetler. Puts Derryfield on the board 1-0.
Yeah, he's an all-stater and showed you why. That move was dynamic. I mean, that first step and then the quick swim, and then even with a low angle, Nick, right there, very, very tough.
You see the move. Got inside the defender and then let it rip, beating the Londonderry goaltender Brock St. Gelais. St. Gelais back in cage for another season. Took over the starting job during the season last year, but nobody really had a chance there on that Cersoni shot.
Right. It was just too quick and too incredibly pinpoint. And again, that's why he's all New Hampshire.
Derryfield looking to score on back-to-back possessions. Maxwell surveying, giving plenty of room here.
Be looking to see what number 8 Garrett Land does. Terrific player.
A couple of ground balls to his credit so far. Around the horn it goes, back to Maxwell. Nearly 5 minutes in, 1-0 Derryfield. Again, Coach Hetler barking out instructions, finds a shooter. That one's stopped by St. Gelais. His first save comes from the ground. Londonderry gets to the ground ball, but they're going to give it right back over here after the whistle.
Yep. But that's the read on him. He's quick. He attacks the ball, and he went 5-hole right there. Got down, got that blade into the turf, blinding.
Able to stop. A pretty good look from Emerson Stover, the sophomore for Derryfield.
Absolutely.
Two-man game near side. Maxwell backpedaling. Defender coming out with him. It's the Lancers' Braden Ayers, the senior. Ayers cautiously waiting on Maxwell to make a move. Here he comes. To his right. Pass taken. Stover. Nowhere to go.
They flexed into a 1-4 right there, Nick. I was waiting for inside-outside cuts and picks. They call it a mumbo. And we'll see if they do it this time.
Cersoni showing the speed, looking for the angle, trying to find Stover across the zone. Now Stover regains possession on the near wing, and back up top it goes for Maxwell. Maxwell trying to swim free. Eye on the cage,
Wow.
Shot and score. Maxwell goes top shelf, and it's 2-0 Derryfield.
What a move. He faked the sweep and did a beautiful jab step with his left foot, changed directions on a dime, and then put it right in the back of the twine. No doubt. Absolutely terrific move. Look at the hands were high and free. Nice release point from the hip, Nick. That was an exceptional lacrosse play.
Not a whole lot of seniors on this Derryfield roster, Rich, as we talked about, but that junior class and the experience they have may be enough to make up for that.
Anytime. I mean, they're upper-class players, but they also have excellent sophomore play who've been there, done that as well. And interestingly enough, attack lines for both teams, 2 juniors and a sophomore on each. Don't see that very often.
So Londonderry now in a 2-0 hole. As we hit the midway point of this first quarter, there's a log jam at midfield, the ball rolling loose. 6 players are in the mix for both teams. The officials blow the whistles and hand this one to Londonderry. Or no, it's Derryfield possession, excuse me. A push against the Lancers is going to give the home team another shot here with a 2-0 lead. We've got a good crowd here in Manchester. A little bit of a late start here tonight, but we don't mind it. 7 o'clock Eastern time, prime time, so to speak.
There we go. Well, I'm a long-time laxer, so I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, Nick, and
Right.
Sure it's fun doing games with you.
Yeah, we got off to a good start Monday night. Had a 1-goal difference on the Seacoast between Portsmouth and Winnicott. That game is up on our YouTube channel. Hit the like and subscribe buttons while you're there. And, of course, we're in action tomorrow night down in Andover, Mass. at Merrimack College as we see this shot go wide. Bishop Girton taking on St. John's Prep at 7 o'clock tomorrow.
Huge.
As our opening week coverage continues here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire.
That's a huge matchup early season. Of course, they're in Game 7 tonight, the St. John's Prep guys. It'll be BG's second. But here you go, off to the races after that ground ball.
Yeah, fortunate bounce. It's Austin Callahan, the big long pole. His pass, though, doesn't get home. Instead, the ball rolls towards the far corner. Heward, good hustle to keep it in bounds. And the
Absolutely.
Lancers still have it.
What a nice little twinkle toes move along the end line there. I didn't think he was going to do it. Athlete.
And now Coach Ward trying to orchestrate the offense from the visitor sideline. Londonderry hoping to get on the board here with inside of 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
Nice cut.
Yep. Shot and score.
Wow.
Feed on time and on target. Trey Campbell, the sophomore, lights the lamp, and it's 2-1.
That was a wonderful backside cut. Everybody was looking at ball. And then, as I said, X-Man Supreme right there and Owen Heward with a BB. Incredibly accurate pass on the fly. And then no chance for the goalie right there.
So it's Heward to Campbell with inside of 5 minutes to play in this opening frame as we get another look at that pretty pass and cut.
Yeah.
So Londonderry needed a response. Rich, they get it. And it's a 1-goal game again.
Yeah, that was an important punch back. You had to have that. And then all-important face-off.
Just out of his grasp. Good effort by Hatfield, and he does, in the end, secure it after the whistle. Hatfield giving Derryfield the early advantage at X here in this first quarter. We close in on 4 minutes to go. Another possession here for the Cougars.
His clamp is so quick, Hatfield. That got to have possession of the rock, or you can't be in the game, and that's why we like Hatfield and his chances to be All-State.
To his right, this is Heath Mueller trying to get in on the action. St. Gelais ready with his second save. The junior comes out of the cage.
Yeah, he really came out and cut down the angle there, but it was still high to high, easy for a great athlete like St. Gelais to read.
Long pass completes the clear. J.J. DeGeorge drawing attention in the middle. Looks to his right, finds Campbell, swung back for Heward near the goal, and he'll backpedal to the corner. Being pursued cautiously by Alistair Wright, the long pole. This is the matchup to watch in the eyes of many.
I think so.
Heward trying to find Campbell. It's not clean. The ball ends up, though, with Campbell.
It's just stayed kind of wedged between them.
Right. Took a bounce waist high right back into the stick.
Fortuitous.
Londonderry avoids the turnover. A chance to tie the game here as we close in on 3 minutes to play in this opening quarter.
I was thinking they want to have good, deliberate possessions, Londonderry. Don't want to get in a track meet here and keep the score down, but you got to keep your passes up.
Yep, that one low and off target, intended for DeGeorge and turned over.
That's about the third or fourth pass that the Lancers have made that have bagged out in the pocket and gone straight down to the dirt. Or turf, excuse me. Just what's going on with the webbing in their sticks. It's puzzling.
Meanwhile, Liam England, veteran goaltender, going to come out here and help on the clear, but this one batted away. Heward, a good play at midfield for Londonderry. Pokes it along the sideline. Ball still in play as it rolls. Finally whistled out of bounds and back to Derryfield.
Try it again, Nick.
Yeah.
See, another low pass. Interesting. Maybe it's moist down on the field. Makes your pocket expand. We call it bagging out. And you can't get a good grip on it, really.
Meanwhile, Sersoni completes the clear for the Cougars. Defender lost his stick.
Yeah, you can't play until you pick it back up, unlike hockey.
2 minutes to go here, just about.
A flag down.
2:06, and penalty marker is spotted way on the far side.
Yeah, it's offside.
Just in front of the home bench.
Sometimes you get caught on a ride and you go over and your other wingman goes over as well, and you end up with a 7-on-6.
So a 30-second penalty against Trey Campbell, the sophomore midfielder for Londonderry. First man up either way. Comes at the 2-minute mark, first quarter. Derryfield looking to rebuild a 2-goal lead. Sersoni thought about it. Cross zone. Mueller is wide. Stick may have been tipped on the release. Ball ends up in the corner and will stay with Derryfield.
Seen a few good knockdowns already.
Meanwhile, there's another offsides here against Londonderry. A flag thrown way behind the play is going to send a second Lancer to the box. That's Dylan Mack Davis, junior midfielder, joins his teammate Campbell in the box.
Somebody must have gone on and gone out, not realizing it, and he got caught.
Two-man advantage for the next 6 seconds. Derryfield hoping to get a shot off. Backdoor pass broken up. Ball in the sky. Lands. Hatfield in the mix. Spins. Shot. Gelais, a diving attempt. Bodies are on the ground. There's a flag on the play, and let's see. I'm not sure if that ball ended up in the cage or not. Again, another penalty here.
My guess is a push. Yeah, it's a 30-second push. Yep. All that traffic in tight there, Nick, right just over the crease. We call it the island. Kids just get after it, and here comes a push, and if you maintain possession, you'll draw it, and you can't push a guy into the crease and get away with it.
It's the senior defender, Lowell Leeds. It's a block party over in the Londonderry box. They did kill one of the penalties.
Yeah, but
so two-man advantage for the next 5 seconds.
And Derryfield, they pass very quickly, so they'll be able to get something going.
Hatfield step-down bouncer, skies over. And out of play. And we're back to a one-man EMO for Derryfield for 15 seconds, and there it is, out in front. Mueller Pretty pass from behind the cage. The one-timer for the sophomore makes it 3-1.
Yeah, it just can't when the penalties keep coming and coming, you just can't get in defensive rhythm, and then you have a good passing team like Derryfield, and they convert. It's just asking too much.
EMO goal comes with 1:12 remaining here in this first quarter. So Derryfield back in front by 2. Meanwhile, Betancourt trying to stand up to Hatfield here, get some help from the wing.
That's excellent.
Long pole, Austin Callahan to the rescue, and Londonderry gets a face-off win. Meanwhile, Brody Campbell took a hit, finds a man near the cage, and it's Heward, a crafty finish. Able to bounce that one down by the ankle of the goaltender Liam England, and Londonderry gets a quick answer inside of 52 seconds to go in the first.
I don't know how that you lose track of number 7, and then he was just elevating north of the goal line, extended GLE, and nice little pass here. You had 3 guys paying attention to the feeder, and then beautiful backhand to finish.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching him, and he's silky. We saw that on display right there.
Yeah. A lot of games under his belt at this point. Still only a junior, but he's been a big part of the Londonderry program for a long time at this point. Meanwhile, the ball is going to roll to the near sideline. Stay in bounds as a hit offered up there by Callahan. Derryfield gets to the ground ball, and then in retaliation, there's a penalty. Flag on the play. It's against, I believe, the Cougars. They're going to whistle it dead as a cross-check is called.
Yeah, so he's going to sit for a minute. Personal fouls are a minute, 30 seconds for technicals. We saw those 3 technicals in a row that led to that last goal for Derryfield. But time for the Lancers. So they got 30 seconds. Should be an interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing Coach Ward's EMO here.
So Garrett Land in the box as the Lancers with a man up for the first time. Trying to tie the game in the closing seconds of this first quarter. Campbell, swing it far side on the wing. It's Trey Campbell. Brody on the near side with Heward up top. There's the back door to Brody. Ooh. Shot deflected, I believe, by Campbell, or by England. The goaltender may have got a piece of that. Ball ends up out of play, 6 seconds remaining for Londonderry.
Yeah, he just flat out missed. It leaked out of the top of his stick right there. Just unfortunate for him.
Meanwhile, Aiden Stoll is not going to make a play here as time expires. First quarter belongs to the home team. Derryfield a 3-2 lead, but Londonderry still on an EMO when we come back. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, and spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Well, while we were away, Aiden Stoll has tied the game. That's the Londonderry senior. We see the replay there, able to make his way from a tough angle to beat Liam England to tie the score at 3 apiece.
Yeah, he pulled Liam off the pipe a little bit and too far, and that gave him just enough shooting angle on the backside. That's the old adage, is you drive that near post, shoot toward the far.
An EMO goal. And a second straight for Londonderry.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, Hatfield carving out his advantage at the face-off X, his 5th in 7 tries. He's got Derryfield back on the attack here. Game tied at 3. Home opener, season opener for Derryfield, expected to compete again in Division II. Londonderry, a D1 playoff team from a year ago, hoping to even their early season record at 1-1.
That was just awesome defense, but couldn't get the conversion and pick up that ground ball right there.
Instead, it ends up ultimately with Sersoni, who's got a goal to his credit so far. Back door. Maxwell cut off quickly by the long pole. Good effort there by Griffin Cunningham to close the gap.
Look at the quickness. And again, there's another low pass.
Yep. Fortunately, it is recovered for Derryfield by Stover. But the Cougars will have to restart things here.
Here comes a sweep and speed dodge.
Yep, and a third save for St. Gelais. Made it over the shoulder from his knees. Long outlet pass, gets home. Here come the Lancers in transition. Pass up ahead, shot and score, and Londonderry has taken their first lead. A second straight for Aiden Stoll. Able to beat England low. The senior is upset in cage, and Derryfield now trails by a score of 4-3.
Look at that nice low BB. Impossible to defend that.
The assist for Dylan McDavis. As we see a second straight from Stoll. Both goals have come early. First 90 seconds of this second quarter.
I think it might have been Brody Campbell. His jersey was all bunched up there. Nevertheless, Londonderry playing well, Nick.
It was either 12 or 13.
Yeah, it was all bunched up in the backside. Hard to see.
Meanwhile, Hatfield double-teamed and stripped. That's a good defensive play by Cunningham.
It's outstanding.
Cunningham gets to the ground ball, trying to avoid trouble near the sideline, and his head coach is going to bail him out with a timeout.
That's good coaching right there. Just like, we saw the NCAA basketball tournaments. Both you got to bail out your player from time to time. Good job by Coach Ward.
First timeout either way, as we see pretty good dance moves there.
I've seen that a couple times, Nick.
That was not Cunningham, rather, but Braden Ayers, the senior, able to secure things for Londonderry. All right, let's shout out the sponsors. Let's start with the presenting sponsor. That's the New Hampshire Tomahawks, and they have been back in the fold with us. Excited to have them back on board. NewHampshireTomahawks.com. Of course, that's girls.nhtomahawks is the girls' website. NHTomahawks.com for the boys, and that's, of course, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Also by Beals Insurance. Locations in Bedford, Londonderry, and Epping. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance gets you the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Visit BealsInsurance.com. By MG Sports Fundraising. That's fundraising made easy. MG Sports Fundraising, the official fundraising partner of Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com. Start raising money for your team today. And finally, by Jewett Construction. Come join us to build something great. Proud sponsors of their Trades Scholarship Program. Apply now at JewettConstruction.com. Nick Anastas, Rich McDonough with you from Manchester. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Derryfield at one point late in that first quarter held a 3-1 lead over Londonderry, but the Lancers have come back strong here in this second quarter and now hold a 4-3 advantage.
Helped a little by Derryfield in a couple of penalties and EMO work, but credit the Lancers. I thought they were not going to be in rhythm for a while. They have willed themselves into this game and ahead.
They've scored 3 straight. Owen Heward, and then unofficially anyway, Aiden Stoll with back-to-back. We'll check the replay. Meanwhile, Derryfield looking to get on the board here for the first time since the first quarter, and they do so with another ripping shot from the wing. Heath Mueller, the sophomore, starting to put together a pretty good game. His second goal, and we're tied at 4.
That was a bomb. Holy cow. Look at the wind-up here on the replay. His hands, he's got time and space, steps into it. Big-time shot, and I love the release point from about the rib cage. And, if you've got it in your arsenal, those sidewinder shots, they are very difficult to diagnose as a goaltender.
Obi Musa, sophomore, at faceoff X now for Derryfield, giving Jack Hatfield a rest.
And a real good player.
Musa going to get the advantage here. Comes down the alley, but is stripped from behind. That may have been Betancourt who got a piece. Cunningham trying to secure for Londonderry, and it's a scrum. Cersoni trying to fan it to himself and plucks it out of the sky. Gets inside the defender Callahan. Now has some room. Mueller trying to find a streaking Maxwell pass just out in front and out of bounds.
I tell you, I heard people asking for a ward call right there on Cersoni. You're allowed, when a defender gets his stick tangled up in your jersey, you're allowed to sweep it free. You're allowed to free yourself away from that.
Lancers on the clear. Zach Needham, junior long pole. Comes middle. Cunningham draws a crowd. This pass a little strong for Wynn Shovlin. And it ends up out of play. Turned over, back to Derryfield.
Yeah, I think he just took his eyes off it as it came to stick level right there. I think he was looking to break up field. He'll figure that out.
Chance again for the home team to tie the game. It's the season opener for Derryfield. Londonderry caught their first loss back on Monday against Bishop Girton. Maxwell trying to get inside, going to swoop around the backside of the cage, draws a slide, but the pass is off target.
Yeah, and that's about the 8th low ball so far, Nick. I feel like a broken record, but it keeps happening.
And it's happening to both teams.
It is. It must be the night air.
It's also, opening week, right? You got to work out some of those jitters.
I drove me nuts. I figured, guys, we've been working for a month. We should be ready. That's a nice split dodge right there. Oh, look at the skip pass.
And out in front it ends up. There's the shot, but it's knocked away.
Oh.
Well, you could see Stover upset with himself, but I'm not sure if St. Gelais got a piece of that or not.
I think somebody lifted his gloves just as he released, and it went wide, but he put it from his left to his right in a blink of an eye. That is good IQ from Stover.
Meanwhile, the outlet pass from Lowell Leeds sends Shovlin scrambling. And it's his Londonderry teammate, Brody Campbell, somehow pulled that in on the back step. Now Campbell is double teamed, trying to find the ball. Somebody goes down in the corner, and there comes the flag.
It's going to be a trip. But I tell you, Nick, I said at the outset, Derryfield doesn't give up on a play like that. Full display right there.
Yeah. Trying to make out the number. Was that Garrett Land in pursuit?
Hard to tell.
It's been a rough and tumble first half. 3 penalties against Londonderry, all in the first quarter.
Yeah, it looks like.
And now a 4th coming here in the second quarter as Brody Campbell.
It's Brody, yeah.
Takes a knee in the penalty box. So another EMO for Derryfield. Both teams have cashed in once. This opportunity comes with 5 minutes remaining until halftime.
I say it's Ciccone time.
Here he is on the near wing.
There we go.
Maxwell going to take over and direct traffic behind the cage. He's given a free pass here. Londonderry in a zone, and now a timeout is called.
That's a good timeout. Think about it. Settle them in. Come out with purpose.
First time we've seen the zone from Londonderry in this first half, right?
Well, you have to when you're man down.
Right.
Yeah. But Het, I think what he was looking at was, I don't think he had exactly the kind of formation, and maybe even I felt like there was a lull in some, body language right there. Like, got to go get your guys pumped up. It's a big opportunity because, Londonderry's done a good job punching back here. Time for Derryfield to take advantage of this sequence.
It's been, nearly 7 minutes since we saw Derryfield score. They cashed in on one of those aforementioned EMOs with 1:12 remaining in the first quarter. That was their last goal.
That is a long drought for any Chris Hetler team, Nick.
Since then, no, I lied. Mueller had that rocket.
That was impressive, yeah.
But that's dropped a 3-goal run by Londonderry, in which the Lancers held a brief 4-3 lead just 90 seconds into this second quarter. The Mueller goal tied the game at 4.
That's right.
At the 9:18 mark.
It's a game of runs, just like so many sports we cover, Nick.
Yeah.
And, you starting to get the feeling like the last run between these two guys might do it. We'll see. Plenty of ball to play.
Meanwhile, St. Gelais back in goal for Londonderry. He's looked good in this first half, communicating here with the defense. EMO for the next 14 seconds coming out of the timeout for Derryfield. Land the restart. You can hear Coach Hetler yelling high.
Yep, they want to get that rotation, break the shape of that 5-man rotation there.
Maxwell, Mueller. Now goal line extended for Land. Back up for Maxwell. We're back to even strength.
Yeah, that's going to be frustrating for Het. They didn't even get a good look.
Now Maxwell looking for a one-on-one. The defender is Mac Davis. Draws a slide. There's the shot from Stover, but it's wide. Not a bad look, though, from the high slot.
Absolutely.
Derryfield will look to do it again.
No, it was a nice play. You keep running that one, and you get both guys with good first steps. One of them's going to drop. Do it again.
Maxwell to his right, gets the step, shot, and score. Just sneaks it in. Just under the crossbar to give Derryfield the advantage 5-4.
That was the release point there. Again, you see another one right around the rib cage or the hip, just above the hip, and he goes mid to high. That is very, very difficult on the fly. And you saw the speed on display right there. Great first step, good speed dodge.
Maxwell's second goal comes unassisted, as you see. Terrific placement there.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you see how free and wide his hands were? That gets him so much torque. And then that's a shooter's goal right there. Love it.
So Derryfield a 5-4 lead. And once again, it's back on Londonderry to respond on the road. We got a push here on the wing. Violation against Hatfield.
Yeah, sometimes it just happens. You just all in that traffic, you just get a little bit too handsy, and then down he goes. Easy call for the fellas in stripes.
It's also been a physical first half.
It is, and you expect that with anybody, wearing any Londonderry uniform. But Het, he brings his kids to play ball too.
4 penalties against the Lancers, 1 on the Cougars. We have just passed the midway point here, second quarter. A patient trip here for Londonderry.
Yeah, it's an important thing. You want to get back into rhythm after you had a little haywire play, erratic.
Cunningham would land the defender on his hip. 2 men behind the cage. Brody Campbell given room, goal line extended. This one dropped and then swept forward. Musa, a heady play. And that one is still up for grabs. Finally, it's Stover on the scene for Derryfield, and the Cougars will slow it down as they look for a third unanswered here as we hit 5 minutes to play in the first half.
Time for them to build a run of their own, Nick. Yeah, look at everybody way wide right now.
Pass backdoor, hit on the catch, and forced to retreat. Now across the zone, too hot for Cersoni. It's going to fly out of bounds.
It was hot for sure, but he was looking at the cage before he looked it into his stick. Next one, he's going to put that one home. I have no doubt. And, all Stater, he's thinking about it.
Right idea on that skip pass from Maxwell.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Meanwhile, Callahan able to dodge a bullet there, but not for long. The ball ends up on the turf. Scooped up by Londonderry and cashed in on the backside by Brody Campbell. The junior attack was the last man standing after that ground ball scrum. And we have another tie, 5-5 here with over 4 minutes to go.
Impressive, but great ground ball in traffic there by Trey Campbell. And then chin up, finds his brother. And, we were talking, Nick. We were saying the 3 attack on each side, very dynamic group on each end.
Right.
Showing why they're so smooth and high-quality shooters for Londonderry. Coach Ward has got to be pleased.
Another face-off win, though, for the home team as Derryfield has had the advantage at X in this first half.
Yeah, they're up 10-7 by my count in that department. They're also winning the ground ball battle, which is key. Here comes
Sony.
What did I say?
He finds the pass from Maxwell, who was posted up behind the cage, had a clear shooting lane there. And Dominic is going to cash in for his second goal.
And that was the second absolute bullet that we saw released by the Derryfield players. These guys can shoot. Wow. Again, there's that kind of mid-release point and then finding that upper corner. I wonder if they saw something in St. Gelais with respect to goaltending the corners. But you want to shoot there anyway.
So Derryfield able to respond to the Londonderry Brody Campbell goal just 18 seconds later. Meanwhile, Betancourt getting physical in the middle for Londonderry, but in the end it's Hatfield who escapes with the ball. As Hatfield continues to build that advantage. Gets inside of Cunningham.
Nice pass.
Cougars looking for numbers. Mueller finds Stover, and St. Gelais sends it right back.
That was an awesome eat by Cunningham.
Oh, it was Cunningham.
Yeah, he intercepted or took the shot right out of the air. But,
So we'll give Cunningham the save.
No way. I'm not giving D any of my saves. No. But then a push in traffic again.
Yeah, going to keep it right here with Derryfield. 5-5 our score, 3.5 to go until the break. Lights are on and in full effect here at the Derryfield School in Manchester as I believe the sun is set. Here's a lefty bouncer, shot and score. Wow. That one from Vittorio Massoni with maybe an inch to spare there over the shoulder of St. Gelais to make it now 7-5 Derryfield.
And if you see it, he gets his hands high and free, and then that bounce shot, it's awesome because on the fly, when you bounce it high, you make a goalie make two reads. You're making him read it off your stick, and then he's got to read it as the hot bounce comes. And sometimes on turf, it can bounce high when you don't think it's going to go high, or even if you get some spin on it, you can get some English and draw the ball 3 or 4 inches. Impossible to read.
Back-to-back Cougar goals. Derryfield with a 7-5 lead.
And then
another
Hatfield flexing the face-off muscle right now.
Another face-off victory. Hatfield did it himself that time. Long pass here horizontally, scooped up by Cersoni, and you can hear Coach Hetler from here asking for a timeout. That'll stop the clock with just over 3 minutes to play until halftime. Coming up at halftime, stats, highlights, analysis, a look back at that first half. Full recap, out-of-town scoreboard on a Wednesday as opening week continues. So a lot to get to coming up at halftime. Derryfield right now with a 7-5 lead over Londonderry in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
Well, I think this little mini run, a good job by Derryfield collecting itself. It's being driven, by face-offs, but they're starting to bend the ground ball battle in their favor. And, ground balls win games, Nick. You and I say it all the time, and there's no better truism in the sport, period. Ground balls win games.
What else have we seen that has caught your attention here in this first half?
Lack of saves. I thought these guys would be all over it. But there's some great shooting on display.
Yeah. And Londonderry hasn't had too many looks other than the ones that they've cashed in, as Liam England has not, by our count, so far anyway, recorded a save.
Yeah, and Het might have a chat with him about that. But he's a terrific goalie. I've seen him in action.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll be there. And
I called him a senior earlier, actually only a junior.
Yeah.
Although he's a veteran at this point and the incumbent in net.
And he plays like a senior.
Yeah.
He's that mature. Also just a really nice person.
Had an outstanding game in the championship last year. That was a game Derryfield lost in overtime against Portsmouth, but at times in that game, England really stood on his head.
In OT 6-5, right?
That's
I didn't
correct.
see it, but you covered it, right,
Yep.
Nick?
Yep, it was early.
Yeah, you got treated to a treat.
We did. All right, out of the timeout, Garrett Land
Broke
trying
his
to
stick.
just power his way through, broke the defender's stick. Land gets it back. Pass behind Stover there, ends up on the turf. Scrum breaks out. Callahan able to get to it with the long pole. The Lancer defender Crosses midfield. Heward takes over. Heward goes to the goal and lets one fly. It's deflected out of bounds.
Wow, what a move. Boy, he hangs on to the bitter end, doesn't he? He's not afraid of contact.
Came crashing in, as you can see, and hit the crossbar.
That was a diabolical shot. Goalie's best friend, Nick.
Yep. Meanwhile, the Lancers trying to get their personnel straight, and Coach Ward is going to take a timeout.
They're getting the broken stick off the field, too. That's a safety issue.
Well, it's still down here. I thought we were getting a timeout. Instead, we're getting a turnover. Ball awarded to Derryfield, and then it's given right back to the Lancers on a long off-target pass.
Story of the night. High passes getting away from him. Low passes getting away from him.
Yeah, the passing has not been crisp.
It's
so
interesting. Just, I'm going to ask Head about that maybe at halftime if he'll give me a listen.
Meanwhile, the head of the stick, by the way, the broken stick, is still on the field as Londonderry restarts this one, facing the Derryfield ride. A couple long pulls and the goaltender hoping to crack the code. St. Gelais looking.
And there's another bagged out thing. But you got 20 seconds to get it over the half field, and they almost consume the whole thing.
Derryfield ends up with it in the end. Maxwell going to stop, pop, and just go wide. And then it's Londonderry able to back it up. Nobody behind the net for Derryfield.
Yeah, that'll drive Hetler nuts. It was too early in the sequence to let that thing rip.
Lancers again will look to clear. Final 100 seconds first half.
Good math, Nick.
Derryfield with a 7-5 lead.
That's dangerous.
Yeah. St. Gelais had to backtrack to get it. Hooks up with Zach Needham, the junior. Now back to St. Gelais. Londonderry taking their time on the clear.
This is
a rainbow pass intercepted, but a whistle first as they ran out of time.
Failure to advance. They did it twice in a row, but good ride for Derryfield.
And a quick restart. Stover can't pull it in the crease, recovers, and then takes a hard hit. Play continues. Ball is still loose. Lancers with the inside track, but can't come up with it. Stover is still shaken up. His team does recover the ball, and now we get a stoppage with 1:07 remaining.
That was a very tough hit.
Landed on his back and is now back on his feet.
Yeah. I mean, you're flying blind in there.
That's the sophomore Emerson Stover. And he gets a round of applause from some of this Derryfield crowd. No penalty. So we'll play on here in a moment.
Yeah,
with 1:07 remaining.
The location of the hit itself was clean. It wasn't up in the head, but, sometimes you're compelled to call it when you're just flat out blind, much like the NFL. I'm a card-carrying ref. I'm not going to get after anybody about that.
Well, no penalty.
Yeah,
so
no penalty. No penalty.
We play on with Derryfield in possession.
Reffing this game is very difficult, Nick.
I'm sure.
Yes.
By the way, Derryfield a chance to take their largest lead yet into the halftime locker room inside this final minute.
Yeah, this is huge. Here comes a long speed dodge and a split.
Hatfield draws a slide, pass taken off balance by Land. The big defender breathing down his neck, that's Needham.
Yeah, that's good defense. That is beautiful technical hip side, top side. Not letting him go down, not letting him go top side.
Final 30 seconds.
Watch everybody's buckets are turned. Watch the blind side cut.
Here's a good dodge up top.
There it is.
Backdoor pass. Land just high.
And I tell you what, Dom Ciccone was wide open, begging for the ball. Couldn't get it to him on the skip.
20 seconds for Derryfield. Maxwell shaking big. Shot there off the post.
What a ring.
Ball going to ricochet all the way to the far sideline before Hatfield gets to it. Final 10 seconds. Maxwell up top. Spin move. Looking to get the step to his right. Trying to find some room to get that bouncing shot off. St. Gelais was ready for the low stop, and that will bring us to halftime. Derryfield broke open a 5-5 tie late in that second quarter with 2 unanswered goals, and that is the margin at the midway point. 7-5 Derryfield over Londonderry at halftime.
I expected a close goal. I felt felt like a 2-goal game was in the offing tonight, and we're right there. Good offense on both sides, beautiful finishing for Londonderry and Derryfield. Lucky us. We get to be here for it, Nick.
Yeah, it's been a fun one so far through now 24 minutes. 7-5 coming up in just a few minutes. We'll look back at that first half stats, highlights, analysis, and then a look around the state as opening week continues. We have a Wednesday night scoreboard in store as well. Halftime in Manchester, 7-5 Derryfield over Londonderry. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited, their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The Tomahawks prepare players to compete at the highest level, providing access to the best regional and national tournaments for maximum exposure. More than 1,000 alumni have gone on to compete at the collegiate level, including the ACC, Big Ten, Big East, Ivy, Patriot, NESCAC, NE10, and more. At the New Hampshire Tomahawks, players train with the same coaches and teammates, building elite skill, chemistry, leadership, and confidence. Every session combines high-level, position-specific instruction for all positions. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18 with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited, their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18 with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Halftime here in Manchester. Derryfield leading Londonderry 7-5 in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week. We're presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Nick Anastas, Rich McDonough with you. And this one, an interesting one, a D1 team against a D2 team. It's always interesting regardless of the program or the year. It's a good measuring stick for both teams in this case. Derryfield, their season opener. Londonderry, game number 2 after a loss against defending Division I champion Bishop Girton on Monday. This one got off in the home team's favor. 2 early goals from Derryfield, from Dominic Cersoni and Ryan Maxwell, gave the Cougars a 2-zip advantage midway through that first quarter. Londonderry, with inside of 5 minutes remaining, got on the board. Trey Campbell lit the lamp to make it 2-1. Derryfield on an EMO just outside of a minute to go in that first quarter cashed in. Heath Mueller made it 3-1, but just 20 seconds later, Owen Heward got a transition goal for Londonderry. 3-2 Derryfield with the lead after 1 quarter. Lancers stayed hot. Back-to-back goals from Aiden Stoll first tied the game. That was an EMO goal, and then even strength gave Londonderry their first lead of 4-3. Derryfield responded again. A second goal from Mueller, a second goal from Maxwell. Made it 5-4 Derryfield. Lancers respond. Just over 4 minutes to go. Brody Campbell lights the lamp to tie the game at 5, but the last 2 goals go to Derryfield. As Cersoni scores again, Vittorio Massoni with an impressive shot and score made it 7-5. The last 3 minutes, 17 seconds of that first half were scoreless. So here we are on the eve of quarter number 3. Lancers looking to make up a 2-goal deficit on the road here in Manchester.
And they've got it. I mean, they're feeling okay. You know, they got waxed by Bishop Girton the other night by 13 goals, but that happens to everybody. And particularly a younger club that lost a lot of defenders in Londonderry from last year's squad. But, you know, you saw some talent and you saw some good checking at the end and good defensive positioning. That's what it takes to keep yourself in the game. And I think they've done their game plan. They don't want to get in a track meet with this. They can run, but they have a smaller squad. And it's not as deep, and the middies are developing. So you don't want to get in a track meet in that sort of situation. But here, face-off dot has been critical. It's 8-4 in favor of Derryfield. Not surprisingly, it's double the ground ball count, 16-8 in favor of Derryfield. That doesn't bode well if you got to make a comeback.
That was, of course, one of your keys to the game.
Exactly.
As well.
Once in a while, I'll get one right, Nick.
Meanwhile, an early start here and a rare mistake by Jack Hatfield. A little anxious to get the second half going, apparently. Londonderry has possession as a result. So the Lancers kept off the scoreboard for nearly the final 5 minutes before halftime, hoping to break the ice, so to speak, on their first possession of this third quarter.
Yeah, I think you start out here in good rhythm, and it translates well to the rest of the third quarter.
Here's Heward behind the cage. Far side now for DeGeorge, trying to find a man up top, but the pass too low for Trey Campbell. Rolls back across midfield, and that forces the official to blow the whistle.
He missed a push there, but didn't matter.
Maxwell on the restart. Giddy to get going, going to move to his left. The long pole Lees is on him. Now back up top. Full darkness here in southern New Hampshire. The lights are on at the Derryfield School. We've got a good crowd here as well. The Cougar fans, as expected, have shown up, but as have the Lancer fans on the road. It's been a fun dynamic here in the stands.
Well, Lees is hung up right now.
You see the defender right behind the goaltender. Maxwell still surveying his options. Now finally Lees comes after him. Maxwell escapes. Up top, shot on the run, and a score.
You could see that happening. They far side overloaded, and then that left a ton of green space center, and they don't miss when they get that close.
That's Massoni's second, the junior. Able to sneak it by St. Gelais to make it 8-5. That's now 3 in a row for Derryfield.
Beautiful move and setup.
Comes just a minute 16 into the quarter. As you see Masoni there, able to fire the left-handed sniper. 8-5 Derryfield, that's their largest lead.
Well, it all started with Leeds taking that angle top side of the cage, and that's where he got hung up, and then the IQ of Maxwell to hang him up.
Maxwell has looked good, 2 goals in that first half. Not sure if he gets an assist there.
It might have been too much of a move once the ball was corralled.
Right.
We'll see. I don't know. If I'm the home scorer, I'd give it to him.
Meanwhile, Heward on the back pedal. Lancers facing a 3-goal deficit for the first time tonight, trying to get a 2-man operation going. Instead, they reset back up top.
And you see why Wright is going D3 right there to Wentworth, which is a good program down in Boston. He's a talented kid, but he plays his positions real well.
This is Wright. Draw the assignment of Heward tonight. Heward trying to run away from him. Goes up top. Brody Campbell, a sidearm release, and there's the save for England.
Finally.
Saw that one well, and the junior waved the wand. Now ground ball goes to Londonderry. Good hustle there by Ben Williams, the sophomore. But no shooting lane appears. Londonderry going to hang on for the moment. Trey Campbell nearly lost his balance. Shot there, ends up off the pipe. It's loose near the crease. Still trying to find it are the Cougar defenders, and they do. As the long pole comes away with it, that's Lucas Graff.
Yeah, great run out, too.
Yeah, Graff clears it himself, but then lost the ball, recovers, throws a high pass down the sideline that's taken in overhead by Maxwell.
And Owen Heward is hurt. That's not good.
Limping a little bit, the Londonderry junior, trying to make his way back to the bench, but hobbling.
Well, he's going to run it out.
Meanwhile, Derryfield getting set for another possession here. 3 minutes in third quarter. It's a 3-goal Derryfield lead. Meanwhile, behind the play, Heward still trying to shake off what looked like a leg injury.
Yeah, I think he just twisted it on the way out of bounds right near side here.
Maxwell swoops around, fires on the run, and that one whizzes over the head of St. Gelais.
Boy, that was just a beautiful speed sweep right there, but Londonderry closest to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
They back it up. That's Graham Cunningham. Good heady play.
It was just the speed of that shot rendered the goalie the closest guy to the ball.
Meanwhile, Lee's the long pole trying to swim upstream, throws it away. Intercepted. Good read by Derryfield's Mitch Labby, the freshman, one of the few freshmen getting action tonight for either team.
Yeah, that was high IQ. Saw the long skip, stepped right into it like a good free safety.
Yep.
Beautiful.
4 minutes in third quarter. Sersoni with speed. That shot jammed up.
Wow.
Was that Graham Cunningham?
Yeah, he took one right off the dome.
Able to sacrifice the helmet. Stops the shot.
Doesn't have to be pretty. Just eat it.
2-man game, and I think a moving screen.
Yep.
Got to have the feet set, and they were not.
Got to be set, and you've got to have the stick perpendicular or in parallel with your body. You can't have it like a telephone pole, crisscross.
Long pass, too long. Ball ends up on the ground, and on the second pass, the Derryfield defender gets to it. That's Graff, and the Cougars turn the tables again now with Sersoni on the near wing.
2 INTs in a row. That is really frustrating if you're trying to get some mojo and get a comeback going.
Meanwhile, what has been the key to success for the Derryfield ride, producing these turnovers?
I think they're just right up in the grill and aggressive. Wow.
That's Maxwell's third. Hat trick time for the junior. Got inside the defender, swoops the stick around the inner pole, and beats St. Gelais to make it 9-5.
And he hangs his man up right at the backside of that of the goal. And once he commits, bye-bye. Goes right by his hips. Great south to north dodge. And 5-hole all the way.
Meanwhile, Derryfield has put together the game's longest goal streak. Now 4 unanswered by the Cougars, dating back to late in the second quarter. An infraction on the faceoff.
Yeah. Londonderry at times kind of shooting itself in the foot, Nick, with a bunch of penalties. you only had one EMO goal, but it just ruins your rhythm for the night.
4 penalties taken by Londonderry in that first half, only 1 for Derryfield. So the Cougars, for the most part, have remained disciplined.
There's still time.
Yep. Well, we're nearing the midway point of this third quarter. Derryfield enjoying their largest lead and looking to add to it here. On the attack once again. Maxwell behind the cage, nearly fell down and put his hand down inside the circle.
Good eagle eyes, Nick Anastas. Well done.
Long outlet pass. Ends up in the stick of Trey Campbell, who's going to lower his shoulder here. Trying to shake off the defender who's stuck on him like glue. That's Patrick Masoni. And finally, on the far side, Braden Ayers takes over for the Lancers. Londonderry hoping to kickstart the attack here. Held off the scoreboard now for over 10 minutes of game action.
Yeah, this is a huge sequence for them. You feel like they need something on this. Even just a really good look at the cage.
Aiden Stoll has a team-high 2 goals. Forced to give it up. Now Brody Campbell dancing deep behind the net. Shadowing him is the defender, Zach Needham.
And you can see how poised and disciplined Derryfield's defense, both the short stick D and their poles. They just stay in good position, and they stay in that triple threat defensive mode. Both
head coaches continue to vocalize instructions from the sidelines. Shot. That one a little jammed on the release. No good for Brody Campbell, but will stay with Londonderry. Just past the midway point now, third quarter.
Did that go wide, or did England get a piece? I couldn't tell.
Tough to tell on the replay.
Right on.
But I don't mind giving England a second save.
I don't either. I'm a goalie. It's a brotherhood. We can, we look out for each other.
Meanwhile, Trey Campbell spins to his right. Masoni is going to knock him down on the shot attempt.
That was a relentless D.
Yeah.
And clean.
Those two have been going at it.
Yeah.
The last several minutes. Here's Campbell. Tried to finish off the one-time bouncer, but just a bit wide.
Old school quick stick look right there, Nick.
Londonderry starting to turn this one into an extended possession here, hoping it can end with a goal. Brody Campbell, sweeper, no. Poke back out, top
Running
of the crease,
outside, yeah.
And it's Stoll who gets to it for the Lancers.
And there's the never give up attitude. They didn't get it, but it just elevates your team, Nick.
Far side to George, spin move. Trey Campbell with room, thought about it, but Masoni in the shooting lane.
You got a clear out coming.
1-on-1. Left-hand shooter, wide of the cage. That's Hayden West. I believe his first shot attempt, the junior.
Yeah, but that was a good look. I thought he was going to come sweep right side, but he wanted his left. Found him, created some space with that fake. I can't wait to see what he does next sequence.
Coming up on 4 minutes to play this third quarter, and finally the Lancers give it back as Trey Campbell unable to pull that pass in, turned over to Derryfield.
And Coach Ward's body language just sank when that one drifted away.
Had been a promising possession.
Yeah. That was probably their best extended possession of the night, Nick.
Here's England out of the cage.
He's got jets. I watch him run.
Junior goaltender gets all the way to midfield before he gives it up. Masoni's shot is in. Is that Masoni or that was backdoor? That was backdoor for Stover.
Yeah,
Stover
he passed
with the
it
goal.
off. Yeah, it was beautiful. I mean, the weave. Stick, put it in his left, put it in his right, put it back in his left, and then watch the athleticism as he goes down the slot. And that just picks the lock on the backside, Nick. It was tic-tac goal right there.
Yeah, pretty to watch. Emerson Stover, who's been working hard, was shaken up back in that first half. Seemingly has recovered and gets rewarded for his effort there. Meanwhile, Derryfield has now put together a 5-goal streak here, dating back to late in the second quarter. Their lead is now 10-5, with inside of 4 minutes to go in this third quarter.
Well, prescient, I guess. You know, the face-offs and ground balls were doubled up. Now the score is.
The home team has had the advantage at the face-off X as well. This one is still up for grabs, and now finally secured by Londonderry's Griffin Cunningham.
Well, they needed that.
Once again, Coach Ward shuffle the cards a bit, bring Hayden West back on as the attack looks to get the personnel in order. We tick down towards 3 minutes to go in this third quarter. Lancers looking for their first goal since halftime.
I feel like this one's a must. I said it of the last one, and they looked like they were going to generate a good look, but in that long possession, they need to do it again.
Here's West against Hatfield. Hatfield holds its ground.
Nice D.
Skip pass, Cunningham, shot, bouncer, wide.
Did you see that jump left about 3 inches?
Yeah.
There's your English off the turf. That'll drive a goalie bonkers.
Tougher for a goaltender to play it off the turf or off the grass? Typically the turf, right?
It's nice true bounce usually, but these really talented shooters work on that top spin, and it's confounding at times. But, yeah, it stays true. And I grew to love playing on turf fields, with my Maryland teams.
Meanwhile, a little two-man game up top. Trey Campbell scored Londonderry's first goal back in the first quarter. Forced to give it up. Now West to his left. Shouted by Hatfield. Taken over by Cunningham. Goal line extended. Londonderry continuing to play patiently. Coach Hetler still barking at the defense.
Well, that's what he does.
And they have not cracked as a result.
Yeah, it's disciplined.
Yep.
Disciplined front here.
Heward in a full sprint. We get a whistle. And an illegal screen, I believe, against Londonderry's Cam Prudhomme, the sophomore.
Yeah, and he is beside himself.
The midfielder
didn't see it.
still having discussions as he exits the field. So turned over, back to Derryfield here. Just over 2 minutes to go in this third quarter.
Well, I've
a third
said,
quarter that has belonged to the home team.
Without a doubt. I've said, though, Nick, it's a hard thing to do, ref lacrosse. And if I ever get back into coaching as a guy who's reffed now, I will never yell at another ref.
Well, we hope you don't get into back into coaching this season.
No, I'm good. I've hung up my spikes after 25-plus years, and I'm happy to be with you.
Yeah, we're happy to have you.
Doing some college ball, lots of NESCAC and NE10. I'm just having a blast.
A little more laid back as a broadcaster as opposed to a coach.
I'm still a nerd for game film, Nick. You've seen my prep. I still like watching it, and I like talking to coaches. It's a beautiful game, and it's nice to be part of it, and nice being with you, pinch hitting for Roger, All
right, Londonderry is once again going to settle down here, as they've had their opportunities in this third quarter but have not been able to crack the safe.
Yep. They've had it for, 5 minutes of the last 7, perhaps?
Trey Campbell unchallenged on the far wing. Now West cycles it near side. Campbell sends it behind the cage for Heward. It's a different pole on him now. Sam Bradley coming out to challenge.
Yeah, and look, they're getting a little weave going, a little spaghetti.
Heward fell down, pops right back up with the ball still in his stick. And now makes a move to the other side of the cage, comes around, shot there challenged, and ends up wide again. Good defensive effort as Bradley stuck with him for the most part.
Yeah, and then the little lift right at the end of the movement. And, you don't have to get a thunderous check on everything. Just lift the gloves, and it disrupts the shot, goes wide, turnover.
Speaking of turnover, Lancers force the issue on the ride and get to the ground ball. Callahan, another ground ball to his credit. Braden Ayers hoping to jumpstart the attack, and now it's taken over near side by Dylan McDavis. Brody Campbell, defender on his back, shake and bake, shot and score.
What a move.
Was impressive. Brody Campbell, the junior, made it happen single-handedly there. His second goal, giving Londonderry a much-needed lift here with just 24 seconds to go in the third.
I cannot tell you how huge that is. You exit the period, chance to get a face-off and another look at it. But, boy, it was good defense right there by Gaff, and he just threw the third move on him, and he just couldn't stay with him anymore. How about that footwork, Nick?
Surprised he kept his balance
right
until the very end there. You see leaning left on the release. His second goal, And the first goal for Londonderry in nearly 16 minutes. They needed that one. They got it. 10-6 now. Hatfield, another win for Derryfield. And now it's the Cougars with a chance for one final shot here before the third quarter ends. Down to 10 seconds. Maxwell falls down. Flag comes out. We've got a trip coming up against Londonderry.
And so what Derryfield will do now is they'll be up one, man up that is, and they will hold the ball, and they don't have to have a face-off to start.
We saw this at the end of the first quarter with Londonderry.
Exactly. And that's one that just turns a coach's hair gray. But he didn't mean it. It was just an athletic move, and he got to stick right where it didn't need to be.
So we don't expect Maxwell to make a move here. He'll run out the clock, and that'll bring us to the end of the third quarter. 10-6, Derryfield extends the halftime lead. And is that deficit enough to get a win on opening night? Or is the door still open for Londonderry to pull this one off on the road? We find out next. Fourth quarter on the other side. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, and spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Well, it's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Nick Anastas, Rich McDonough with you. Still getting used to that new presenter, so I apologize if I got it wrong. But it's presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. We're glad to have them back on board. And we've been treated so far to a great game tonight, in addition to our opening broadcast back on Monday night between Portsmouth and Winnicott. This one has been close. The key so far, a 5-0 run put together by Derryfield to break open a 5-5 tie. St. Gelais, meanwhile, with another stop for Londonderry. It was 5-5 late in the second quarter. Derryfield scored the final two before halftime to lead 7-5 at the break, extended that run all the way to 10-5 before inside the final minute of the third quarter, Londonderry lit the lamp. So here we are, 10-6, with now less than 12 minutes remaining in regulation. It's basically do or die time now for the Lancers.
Boy, Callahan showing off some serious athleticism there. Toe drag with the pole, 360, you name it. It was all there in that one run.
That's the sophomore Austin Callahan for Londonderry, who has looked good tonight.
Really good, talented young kid, and he was one of the guys that Coach Ward was really happy about. Says pleasant surprises for his D.
Yeah.
And they're in this game with a powerhouse team.
Well, how would you assess the Londonderry defense? That was the question mark coming into the season for Coach Ward. How have they held up in your mind?
I think they're good. I mean, you got a couple of sloppy penalties, but you expect that with a young group. But look, you're playing against a group of kids who are run and gun. They played with each other for years, and I like what I've seen out of Londonderry. Coach Ward said they kind of had the wheels fall off the other night. Credit Bishop Girton, of course, but this team's going to be there.
Both of these teams were selected by the coaches and the media as top 10 preseason teams, regardless of division. Lancers came in at number 8 in the initial poll, with Derryfield at number 6. This shot is wide, takes a slow roll out of bounds behind the cage, and will stay at this end with Londonderry. Meanwhile, nearly 2 minutes gone by already in this fourth quarter. Tomorrow night, we're in action. We're going to see the number 1 team in the poll. That's the defending Division I champion Bishop Girton Cardinals. And they take on Massachusetts power St. John's Prep. Live from Merrimack College. We'll be on the scene tomorrow night. Game time is at 7 Eastern. Meanwhile, Masoni was knocked down here and may have gotten a timeout. He did. Got the timeout just in time from the home sideline. Coach Hetler bails out his youngster, and Derryfield is going to have possession in just a moment. Our broadcast tonight is brought to you by the New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Find out more at nhtomahawks.com and also girls.nhtomahawks.com. By Beals Insurance. Locations in Bedford, Londonderry, and Epping. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Visit BealsInsurance.com. By MG Sports Fundraising. That's fundraising made easy. MG Sports Fundraising is the official fundraising partner of Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. So visit mgsportsfundraising.com. Start raising money for your team today. And finally, by Jewett Construction. Come join us to build something great. Proud sponsors of their trades scholarship programs. Apply now at JewettConstruction.com. Nick Anastas, Rich McDonough with you. Opening week statewide. Opening game, season debut for Derryfield. Game number 2 for Londonderry. The Cougars, of course, widely expected to be once again in contention for the Division II crown. Londonderry, a playoff team a year ago in Division I, hoping to get back to the postseason for a second straight year under head coach Jimmy Ward.
And they're going to be in the mix. There's no doubt in my mind. And Jimmy's a talented coach. I'll tell you what, right there was, I expect this. Garrett Land was whistle ready and Londonderry was not, and he ran right by everybody on that clear. One-man clear, we call it a punt return.
Senior play there, right?
I think so.
Yep. Land, one of the few seniors on this squad, but still a veteran team, as you mentioned, with the amount of sophomores and juniors who had experience last year at the varsity level.
Yeah. 10 games in, even if you're a first-year player, congratulations, you are now experienced.
Sursoni swallowed up St. Gelais, ready on that one.
Boy, that had some heat on it, huh, Nick?
Long outlet pass, ends up on the ground at midfield and given right back as Mueller takes it away for Derryfield. He's got 2 men in pursuit, going to stop on a dime and get rid of it. Sursoni helps him out, and Derryfield's going to slow this thing down again with 3.5 now gone by in the fourth quarter. Neither team has scored yet in this fourth quarter. Trying to change that is the lefty Masoni.
Wow, he got buried too.
Vittorio paid a little price there, went wide on the shot. Meanwhile, if you're Londonderry, trailing on the scoreboard, clock starting to become a factor, do you take more chances defensively?
You have to. You got to press out. You got to try to get a caused turnover, get that ball down to the carpet, 50-50 ball, and trust your athletes at that point.
Mueller hooks up with Land, but that shot well wide.
High IQ right there, finding Land in traffic. Good pass. Keep trying it if you're Derryfield.
Well, that was my other question. How aggressive are you here if you're the Cougars?
Well, you want good rhythm possessions. You've got lights-out shooters on the wings in particular. Don't take yourself out of your identity. Bang.
Shot and goal.
Right on cue, Nick. You made me look good.
Yeah. That's Maxwell.
Was it Maxwell? I lost him in the shadow.
That's number 4.
Wow. What a night.
4 of the juniors starting to really stand out here. So the fourth quarter so far belongs to Derryfield as they extend their lead back to 5, 11-6 here with just over 4 minutes gone by.
You set me up there. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. But, again, you don't want to disrupt who you are.
Right.
Your team ethos is find the spots, get the wicked shots. They've had a lot of missed shots, but they had quality looks. And keep being yourselves and run through the tape.
Meanwhile, Hatfield almost had it that time. Instead, it's Stoll from the wing who comes in for the steal. And Londonderry is going to settle things down here, but they've got to hurry. Nearly 5 minutes gone by in this quick-moving fourth quarter.
I got to tell you, I like Musa's ferocity out there. He is a tough kid.
Yeah, he's filled in nicely for Hatfield at times tonight at the face-off X. And
then his wing play is dynamic. Boy, what a gadget, Swiss Army knife type of, guy for Coach Hetler. Lucky him, huh? And he's a sophomore, so they're going to see him for 3 seasons.
You can hear Coach Hetler constantly in communication with that defense.
Reminding who's got his help. They're calling out their slides and their backups.
And Coach Ward watching from midfield. This is attack. Tries to figure it out. Brody Campbell shot, and from his knees, Liam England comes up with the save.
Yeah, that was a good save, but it was also a heck of a trail check to mess up the rhythm of that shot and the release. But then he kind of sat on it like an egg.
Preserves the 5-goal lead with the stop. Meanwhile, this pass knocked down, but recovered by Masoni.
Yeah, that was
going to backtrack and get it over to Sursoni.
Outstanding hand-eye coordination by Cunningham out there with the pole.
He's looked good tonight.
Really good. And again, this is why Coach Ward likes what he sees. Oh, what a dodge.
Shot, score. Dominic Sursoni got a hat trick of his own. 3 apiece now for Sursoni and Maxwell. And Derryfield starting to run away with it here. With 6 minutes to go, it's a 6-goal game at 12-6.
That little hitch, watching, drags his man down south of GLE. Hitch, gone, no slide. And that kid's not going to miss when he gets that close.
So Sursoni with 3, Maxwell with 3. Vittorio Masoni with a couple. Emerson Stover has scored in this second half. Heath Mueller cashed in with 2 goals in that first half as well. So you add it all up, it's 12 for Derryfield. Whereas Londonderry has gotten 2 goals from Aiden Stoll, 1 from Trey Campbell, 2 from Brody Campbell. And who am I missing here? Owen Heward had one at the tail end, an EMO goal at the tail end of the first
I don't know
quarter.
how you keep it going, the math on the fly here. That's a good pass.
Shot, denied again. Campbell below the belt, or rather England with back-to-back stops, denying Campbell there.
Well, he had 0 in the first half. He's got 5 here in the second by my count. So, and then it was 2 5-hole beautiful saves in a row.
Right.
That one, for a lot of goalies, that's in the back of the net. Nice job by that kid.
England, a junior. St. Gelais, a junior, his counterpart. So 2 junior goaltenders.
Which means everybody else got to see him again next season.
Right. Meanwhile, Sursoni going to toe the line. And then it's taken over on the far side. As Derryfield's in no hurry, they'll hit the reset button here. Inside of 5 minutes to go. Mueller wants a shot and a score. He goes upstairs, top shelf, over the right shoulder of St. Gelais, and that's a hat trick as well. So 3 different players with 3 goals apiece now for Derryfield. They're starting to blow this one open, 13-6.
Yeah, just the wheels came off a bit for London. Well, I wouldn't say so much that as Derryfield just getting into its gear. You know, they were a little sluggish. Also, the ball hasn't hit the deck much for them like it did. You know, the unforced errors, that we've seen that kind of cleaned up for the Cougars.
And the placement of these shots have been impressive as well.
Outstanding. I mean, it's just relentless time out here on the turf with a bucket of lacrosse balls.
Another big scrum at midfield. Lancers get to it. Callahan, the long pole, in transition, fires and scores. A laser High to high there over the shoulder of England makes it 13-7.
That was a bullet and a half. Yeah, laser's better. Forget the terrestrial stuff, Nick. Wow. But you got that pole goal, and I said, we said it in the Portsmouth game the other night. My perspective as a goalie, when that thing goes up, I mean, you got a kid who's about 6 feet tall carrying a 6-foot cross.
Yeah.
You're 12 feet in the air. It is so hard to read, and it comes out with a lot of heat. Bombs away.
And Callahan has done most of his damage, so to speak. His production has come in the middle of the field. This time, out in front of the net, able to cash in, get himself a goal. I'm going to help out on the attack here as well. After the face-off win, Lancers look for a second straight goal here, but they're running out of time. Inside of 4 minutes here, still a 6-goal game at 13-7.
I've seen it happen, Nick, but it's very difficult against a disciplined defense like Derryfield has.
Trey Campbell trying to draw out Masoni, the defender, gets a pick from West.
See, that stick was held illegally. Should have called that.
Instead, we play on. Heward now, deep behind the cage. Wright has done a good job on him tonight, staying with him, hacking at him, and gets a piece of that shot.
Fantastic. He stayed on his gloves all the way
and
through
Heward,
the jump shot.
I think, is shaken up. We saw him take a shot below the waist back in the first half. Now he's kind of dropping that left arm. Tough kid. He's going to stay on the field again. He'll take a pass here low, stamp it out on the ground, and now wants another one-on-one with Alistair Wright. Inside of 3 minutes, Londonderry fighting a two-front war here, the opponent and the clock.
What I do like, though, is they've stayed in the game here, even though they were down 7. They got one, they manufactured that pole goal, and now they're giving it another shot. They're just staying in it. This carries into your next practice, Nick.
Competing, right, for the full 48 minutes.
Absolutely. It's called character.
Brody Campbell made a good move there, but got the ball clamped. Somehow recovers.
You got to move it. It's dying in their sticks right now.
Trey Campbell, again against the long pole. Masoni just nowhere to go. Masoni has looked good defensively. And now Ben Williams. Looking to bring his man to the left, gets rid of it. Heward cycles it behind the cage as we approach 2 minutes to go. Shot, score. It's Stoll. Had a little bit of room there on the wing and took advantage, beating Liam England low to make it 13-8. That's also a hat trick by my count.
Isn't that a hattie for him?
For Aiden Stoll.
Yeah,
and
going with your count.
And back-to-back goals for the Lancers.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. Look, it may be too tall a mountain to climb right now for the fellas in blue, but you've gotten the last 2 goals, and you're playing against their top guys. Look, I'm happy. You don't look for moral victories when you lose, but when you're growing a team back, this helps. It's a little bit of momentum exiting the field.
Meanwhile, Betancourt ended up on top of Hatfield. The officials blow the whistle and give this one to Derryfield. And much to the delight of Coach Hetler, the most well-dressed coach in at least the division, if not the state. He's got the Cougars on the verge of another opening night win here in what is expected to be another competitive season for Derryfield in Division II.
They'll be in the mix at the end, I have no doubt. And Het with those, with his sartorial splendor, he could be a carnival barker if lacrosse doesn't work out for him. I think it's working out pretty well.
He's, of course, got his hands full. He's also the school's athletic director.
I said,
and his 2 young kids at home.
I said, did you lose a bet?
Meanwhile, we got a timeout. It comes from the Londonderry sideline. Coach Ward helps out his young sophomore Griffin Cunningham by calling the timeout. It comes with 1:18 remaining. Derryfield still with a sizable lead of 13-8. Reminder, after the game, stats, highlights, analysis, full recap. And I know I promised scores at halftime. I will get to those.
Okay.
I've got them right here.
We're counting on you, Nick.
I've got them right here. We're going to get to those after the game. So a full post game coming up here in just a few minutes as soon as this one wraps up.
Well, we're in a timeout right now that Londonderry called. Coach Ward, he wants to talk about, but what did they come out? They came out with a hard-fought ground ball. Everybody chopping away at it. They've gotten themselves on the board twice down the stretch. They're battling for ground balls. They're staying physical. Again, no moral victories, but you've got to like what your kids are doing. It's such a young team with and a shallow roster. I'm happy about the effort, Nick.
Well, temperature dropping a little bit here. It was about 65 or so at game time, down to about 55. Big thing is we avoided the rain. That was on my mind most of the week, but got a fortunate turn of events, I guess, in our favor, and we were rain-free tonight here in the region.
Thank goodness. I'll tell you, I'm a snow lover, Nick, but this last winter got me. I was done with it. I don't know about you.
Very cold winter, for sure.
Without a doubt.
All right, we got a minute 18 to go here. Lancers still looking to chip away until the final whistle. Stolar's look good tonight, shows off the good footwork, beats 3 defenders there on the clear. He's also got 3 goals to his credit.
And the effort. You take the effort away from the field.
Down to the final minute here. Callahan trying to find a little room. Pass out in front is knocked down. It ends up in the netting.
He tried to ricochet that off the goalie and into the net. Crafty.
Yeah. I think Liam England was onto it, though.
Yeah, he's a smart young man.
Meanwhile, Land finally forced to give it up. Maxwell takes over, strolls to a walk now behind the cage. And this one just about in the books. Final 20 seconds. Derryfield, basically a wire-to-wire win, certainly in the second half. They broke open a 5-5 tie late in the second quarter with 5 unanswered goals and never looked back as they open up the 2026 season with what is going to be a 13-8 victory over Londonderry as the Lancers fall to 0-2. 13-8 is the final. The home fans clap their hands, and Derryfield has got themselves their first win of the season.
Well, Coach Hetz liking what he saw. You take on a D1 squad with football mentality and athletes, and they're physical, gritty kids. And Derryfield, he's feeling pretty good about his prospects right now. But I know Coach. I've known him for a long time, and he's going right to the film room tonight. And he doesn't take anything for granted. They'll have a great practice tomorrow, and then they've got an interesting schedule coming up. And Portsmouth here a week from today. That is going to be a doozy.
We're going to be here for that.
We're going to be here for that. I can't wait.
For sure. That's next Wednesday, Portsmouth versus Derryfield. Next on the schedule for the Cougars, Goffstown. They will host them tomorrow, whereas Londonderry takes on Bedford. Just a brutal opening portion of the schedule for the Lancers. They got Bedford tomorrow, again on the road.
And Bedford's a little banged up, so
right.
But that there will be no shortage of physicality there. You know that.
Not at all.
Right.
All right, full recap. Stats, highlights, analysis on the other side. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.
New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The Tomahawks prepare players to compete at the highest level, providing access to the best regional and national tournaments for maximum exposure. More than 1,000 alumni have gone on to compete at the collegiate level, including the ACC, Big Ten, Big East, Ivy, Patriot, NESCAC, NE10, and more. At the New Hampshire Tomahawks, players train with the same coaches and teammates, building elite skill, chemistry, leadership, and confidence. Every session combines high-level, position-specific instruction for all positions. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18 and spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, and spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Well, 13-8 is the final. Derryfield a winner. It's the Cougars. Start out the 2026 season on the right note with a win on their home field. Nick Anastas along with Rich McDonough. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. Londonderry with the loss. They fall to 0-2. Derryfield got out to a couple of leads in that first quarter. 2-0, 3-1, 3-2 at the end of the first. And then Londonderry took a lead of their own. Back-to-back goals from Aiden Stoll. Tied the game first at 3 early in the second quarter, and then gave the Lancers a brief 4-3 victory, 4-3 lead, again early in the second quarter. Derryfield back-to-back answers from Mueller and Maxwell. Londonderry gets one from Brody Campbell. And we thinking, well, we've got ourselves a real game here. 5-5 with just over 4 minutes to go until halftime. Then Cersoni scores again, Dominic Cersoni, to make it 6-5. And then Vittorio Massoni makes it 7-5. And that's our score at halftime in favor of Derryfield. That run continued into the third quarter. 3 more put on the board. Massoni again, Maxwell again, and then Emerson Stover. High water mark at that point, 10-5. Londonderry got one just before the end of the third quarter. Brody Campbell with his second, 10-6 our score going into the fourth quarter. And then Derryfield put Londonderry at arm's length. 3 more goals posted back-to-back-to-back. Maxwell, Cersoni, and Mueller, all 3 of those players tonight with hat tricks for Derryfield. But Londonderry ends things on a high note, Rich, and to your point, they were not going to quit on Coach Jimmy Ward. Austin Callahan gets a goal, and Austin Stoll ends up with a hat trick. So 13-8 is our final score here tonight. Derryfield a winner over Londonderry.
Yeah, I was just, eventually the firepower for Derryfield woke up a bit. And as you and I were looking at the stats at halftime, 0 saves for England for Derryfield in that first half, 6 of them in the second half. And, it may not have been the difference, but it gets your team in a different mode. You feel very confident when the goalie starts stopping balls back there, and it translates to the opposite end of the field. Of course, possession helps too.
Yeah, and speaking of that, Derryfield got it done at the Face-Off X. That was one of the areas you were looking for tonight. They get the ground ball advantage as well, and you add it all up, it's a 13-8
Yeah, it was
win.
decisive. Ground balls were 23-12 by my count, unofficial, of course. No perfection up here, but the face-off 17-12. I thought that's pretty good for Londonderry, but the face-off kids for Derryfield are exceptional, and possession being 9/10 of the law, it's more so in lacrosse. Yeah. So there we have it.
All right, other scores. We had another D1 versus D2 matchup tonight. Concord was hosting Winnicunnet. Winnicunnet gets the win, 11-5 over the Crimson. First win for the Warriors after they fell just short the other night in Portsmouth. We had a one-goal game between South and Wyndham. The Jaguars with a home win, 12-11 over the Titans. In Division 2, Timberlane with a win over Kingswood, 13-8. Sounds familiar. And that's all we've got to this point. Tomorrow we'll get some more scores. We know that. We'll be right back on the air with another Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by Beals Insurance as the Bishop Girton Cardinals are in action south of the border. We're live from Merrimack College in Andover, Massachusetts. 7 o'clock to start as the BG Cardinals take on St. John's Prep, two of the premier programs in New England, squaring off tomorrow in a college stadium. You and I, Rich, will be there for that 7 o'clock start.
That's going to be fun. One, it's a terrific venue. Two, you've got, two of the top teams in all of New England, and I think there are 20-plus kids going play college between both, maybe more than that among both teams. Huge rosters for both, like 50-plus kids, and excellent coaching. And teams that know each other very well now since they've had repeat battles, and it's always a fun, ferocious, physical battle. Yeah. Say that 10 times fast.
The only place you can watch it, of course, is on our YouTube channel, FNL NH Media. Like and subscribe. Again, Friday Night Lights New Hampshire on YouTube at FNL NH Media. All right. I want to thank Coach Hetler and his staff here, working hard as usual. We'll be right back here next week for Derryfield and Portsmouth. Looking forward to the return. Looking forward to seeing Coach Het and his crew yet again. I want to thank the sponsors. Our presenting sponsor, the New Hampshire Tomahawks, Showcase and Development for College Lacrosse, Beals Insurance, home, auto, or business. Visit BealsInsurance.com. Of course, MG Sports Fundraising. That's fundraising made easy. Find out more at mgsportsfundraising.com. And, of course, Jewett Construction. Come join us to build something great at JewettConstruction.com. Want to thank our staff here, including Kristen Beals, the MVP of the night. Did not miss a thing up top. Right back in the swing of things. No rust whatsoever. And pinch hitting at the last moment. We appreciate Kristen. Of course, Matt Beals was down in the trench, in harm's way at times, but he didn't blink either, as he's a veteran at this point. I want to thank our director, the man behind the curtain, the wizard of replay, Ben Beals, back in the Beals Insurance Studios. And, of course, my partner, Rich McDonough. Great job again tonight. Looking forward to tomorrow.
Fun.
My name is Nick Anastas, saying so long. Final score, final time, Derryfield 13, Londonderry 8. This has been a presentation of our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks.